All right. We got Sidestorm Gaming Special in the top left of the map. Apologize for the intro there, guys. This is going to be a TvP series, and it's going to be exciting because Special basically just does random crazy cheese pretty much every game he's playing Protoss. His opponent, though, knows him very well, is a Canadian up-and-comer who started smashing some of the top pros in the last couple of years, and he is Trigger. Playing for Root Gaming, up against, of course, Sidestorm Gaming Special. Now, he does get a probe in, and he sees just Reaper. We'll see a factory go down, and I think Special's going to do the 2 Reaper Hellion opening by the looks of it. Pulls 1 worker off each gas, and it does look like that's going to be the case. The factory, I do wish the factory was down a few seconds earlier, but of course Special wanted to trap this probe in here with him. That SCV needs to get repaired, mate. Even just repair that for a moment would be good, but I guess he chooses not to. Lets the Reaper come out and deal with this. And that poor probe. Now, you can actually choose to recall that probe, guys, and it's actually better than chrono boosting another probe. Now, the reason for that is either way, you get an extra probe. But obviously that probe doesn't cost any minerals, and you recall it and it instantly starts mining, whereas a probe takes a full 12 seconds to build, or 6 seconds when chrono boosted, right? So you should technically be able to recall a probe and then get it mining just slightly quicker than building another probe, not to mention that, of course, is a free 50 minerals for it. If you guys want to catch the rest of Uko's Starkiller, go check out Chicken Man's stream. Great word there from Bullier in the chat. Thank you so much for keeping us up to date on that. And guys, this is 2-gate into Robo. Trigger is going to play the most conservative, ultra-safe style here. This is very Trigger. He's just going to try and build a lot of Stalkers and Adepts, have plenty of gateway units out of these 2 gates, get an Observer in case it is like invisible Widow Mines or something like that, which, hey, there's already a Widow Mine coming out, so it definitely could become that. And yeah, he's going to try and do it that way now. Trigger, oh, he cancels the Shade, and he doesn't have his units out front. I do think this is a little sloppy. This is the most common way Special does it, is just running in the front, and that's what most players do. I don't think you need to have units spotting the edges, but now he's going to take like 7 probes losses. Oh, that Stalker popping out does help. Gets rid of the Hellion. 5. I think he'll lose at least 6. Will he lose a 7th? If the Reaper has a grenade, it would help, but no, 6 probes do go down. That's still massive damage for this early, man. It does immediately chrono probes. Notice that he chronos probes really quickly, and he also doesn't prioritize putting back on gas, because minerals are very important to recover that probe damage. He'll just rally onto it probably in the near future, but right now he's like, oh god, I took some damage, let's recover. Fusion Core's going down. Special is pulling out his battlecruiser full up. He's got Widow Mines all around. He's going to get some Marines in a bunker to defend the Stalker counterattack. Medevac is going to go for a 2 Widow Mine drop as this bunker finishes up. Special, be careful there. Let's get those 2 Marines in the bunker, so we should be good. Stalker's just going to go in, get some damage on the bunker, and says, hey, you better repair that, mate. The Widow Mine drop going across the map. This is a non-armory Widow Mine drop, but still quite scary. And oh, the 46 supply block, a little brutal here. Still has not put back on gas in the main, which at this point is a mistake for Trigger. I think he's forgotten about it. And that's a bit of a problem. He should be back on that gas by now. And 1 Widow Mine in the natural, 1 will go towards the main. He's going to try and bust the front at the same time, guys. Oh, Special! Does he get the repair up? Yes, he does. He gets the repair up. The Widow Mine kills. Okay, 4 probes for both Widow Mines is not massive. Another Widow Mine does walk in, though. And that could be huge. Oh, there's 7 probes. And he defends at home, only losing, I think, 1 SCV, maybe a Mule. Oh, the Widow Mines do all go down except this one, which actually trigger. Oh, look, Special's trying to bait the Stalker. He baits the Stalker, which allows the Widow Mine to move over. No, Trigger's going to be so tilted because he's elevating into the Terran's main right now. A beautiful play by Special, and Trigger did not notice because he was moving this around. That medevac, did you see the way it wiggled its booty in front of that Stalker, guys? It said, oh, hey there, Mr. Stalker. Look at me. And the Stalker was like, no, and just followed it like an absolute donkey. Let that Widow Mine crawl into the mineral line. What a dummy. 3 Stalkers and an Adept in the main base. They're picking off a depot. I like that Trigger's taking the fight to Special, but you can see that with this battlecruiser about to come out, I mean, this is going to be so hard for him to deal with. He's building a Disruptor right now, which is not going to be a particularly useful unit. He's down 9 probes. Special is just miles ahead. Now, keep in mind, his production does suck, but he's got Yamato on the way, a battlecruiser, more Marines, and tanks, and he wants to do a Marine tank push on the front, most likely. Behind this, Trigger is trying to probe back up. He's getting 2 extra pylons. He's only got 2 gateways, no shield battery on either base. And when this battlecruiser teleports in, he honestly just loses the game because all of his units are on the other side of the map. He has 6 Stalkers, 3 of which are very heavily damaged. Oh man, 6 Stalkers versus a Battlecruiser is not great at the best of times, and look at that. He pulls the probes out of the main, but the Battlecruiser will catch whatever's left over. He'll get those 3 probes, and then he'll target that pylon. So he's going to target the pylon. That's all of the production. Oh no, Trigger! Trigger's about to be hashtag triggered. Nyam, 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 nyam. Warp Prism with the Disruptor is going to fly into the army. Oh no. Special! And it only hits a single tank, damaging it. Doesn't kill anything. Battlecruiser rotates to the natural, driving around. The big old Chad Cruiser says, come and get me, you stupid Stalkers. This time the bait is actually a real thing you do not want to step into once again, but that's because the bait itself will kill you. And you can see that BC just darting back and forth between the bases. Prism goes down. Disruptor will be falling. He just sends 3 Marines after it. They'll kill it before that goes off. Army on the front does go forward. Oh, he gets a tank and all of it. Wow, great hold by Trigger on the front. Unfortunately, this is climbing back onto the pit, the second layer of the pit. So you've literally unimpaled yourself from the spikes, and now you're climbing up to the next level, which is filled with poisonous snakes. Venomous, I should say. Venomous, because it's venomous if it's an animal, it's poisonous if you eat it, right? If you eat a snake, does that count as it being poisonous, or is it only if it's a plant? Correct me, YouTube and Twitch chat comments. Explain to me the difference technically between venomous and poisonous. My point being, Trigger's still in deep shit. Because I guess that's what I'm trying to say if I want to put it in plain English. Second Battlecruiser comes in, dance around this base, and just endless waves of just throwing these cattle bruisers into the Protoss player and annihilating so many units, man. Wants to take out the shield battery. Nice cancel by Trigger. Gets an extra probe, gets an extra 2 probes. He's got to get out of there with no blink there. Look at this, doesn't even have teleport. Gets all the way to 70 hit points and then pulls back. Meanwhile, Special is going to siege this front Nexus. He's got his own 3rd command center with double gas on it, and he's going triple starport Battlecruiser. Oh my god. The balls on this kid. Oh, speaking of balls, Trigger does get a nice flanking shot there, but then immediately Special turns around and with a swift kick to the nads, does basically eject 50% of Trigger's chance of procreating in future. Just knocks that ball down into a bloody mist. Not a good situation. Trigger does want to be having children in the future, but we'll see. Hopefully science can find ways to, you know, medicine's going a long way. They might find a way. Maybe there's still some boys swimming around in there. It's now triple Battlecruiser out, and Trigger unfortunately denies us the chance of seeing 3 Battlecruisers with 2 more about to pop, and because that would have been just juicy, wouldn't it? If we saw 5 Battlecruisers teleport across the map for the win. Either way though, Special finishing game 1 in style. Alright guys, going into map number 2, Trigger answering cheese with some aggression of his own. He's gone 2-gate proxy zealot into a cybercore single gas. There's going to be Stalkers coming in from behind this, and his opponent Special has not scouted. Oh, he sees it though. The gateways may be giving it away a bit early, but I don't think Trigger really cares because this command center 100% has to be cancelled. Now, did he only see 1 gateway? No, he saw both. Special's building a bunker. He's trying to buy time right here. Does cancel that command center. SCV is going to try and drill its way back up to the main. It does kill the probe, does Special. Gets the depot up. Just barely. He builds another depot to quickly wall off. Do we rebuild the command center on the high ground? I think he will. He's going 2nd gas right now. And that's actually a decently timed Nexus bind. This goes down just after the 2-minute mark. I'm surprised the Zealots didn't attack the wall a bit more, since there was only 1 Reaper and 1 Marine. I do think he could have done a bit more damage. Now, the Stalker does not go across the map. He's going to rely on the shield battery to defend. I do think that's a little bit of a mistake here. I think sending that Stalker home would have been a good idea. Trigger thinks twice about it and says, nah, I'll just send it across the map. And now he's going to lose a few probes. 15 seconds of free killing time in this base. Trigger, you better have some good micro, mate. The Zealots and the Stalkers run forward. He gets 1 SCV. And is he going to get the second one? Yes, he will. But at the same time, the Reaper already kills 2 probes on that side of the map as well. Or actually, I guess one of the probes was earlier on his side of the map, wasn't it? But he does get 1 more probe over here. So he's killed 1 probe here, 1 probe on his side of the map. The shield battery is healing these units up pretty well, but still going to be annoying because you're going to have to run out of energy in a moment. Stalker's nowhere near home. He's going to have to battery overcharge that when this battery's out. It's definitely an issue right now for Trigger, who may be overcommitted to this push. Special has got a very late command center. Don't forget that. Battery overcharge has to go down, as it does not require energy to heal when it's overcharged. And the Stalker's going to try and hunt down this Reaper. Stalkers all coming back. And he's got to keep these 2 gates up as long as possible. If he loses control of those, he's in big trubs. Reaper does rotate around. Going to leave probably just 1 Stalker at home will trigger. And then continue to the front. But there is a Cyclone for special, which is going to allow him to start poking out and picking off these Stalkers. Double Marine production will now start as the reactor's done. And the Reaper's still being a bit of a dickhead. Did he see everything? Oh, he did. He sees the 3rd gateway in the Twilight Council. Oh, a Liberator. So Special's thinking about sieging with the Lib. Cyclone comes forward. Will take out this Stalker. Very well done. Second command center's up. Special has not started the second barracks just yet. He's just focusing on basic unit production right now. He wants to get on out there. The Cyclone and the Marines going to be out microed by these Stalkers pretty well. And that Cyclone even gets stuck there for a little bit. Oh, and he's just sold his bunker. But I mean, I think he can defend the high ground okay. Does need to repair this Cyclone though. Come on, dude. Oh my god. Dude, move your Marines. His hold position is Marines, so his SCVs can't get to the Cyclone right now to repair. But now that he's got a tank on the natural, he should be fine. Blink is on the way though. Trigger should probably work his way towards the 3rd base. And he goes back in, takes a tank shot, takes 2 tank shots. Cyclone would like to get the kill. Doesn't quite manage to. Good micro so far. We've still got the Reaper on the other side as well. Remember, if he can block the 3rd base, that would be huge. 1 Stalker at home. Liberator. Can it find the damage? More tanks, Marines, and now a medevac building. Guys, Special is not building extra barracks or a 3rd command center yet. He's just pumping units. No follow-up, no plan for the future. Oh, I like the Reaper hanging out here. That's very cute. Of course, this Stalker can get down there, I believe, to hit that Liberator. 1 probe does go into the zone. So far, very good micro by Trigger to handle this, but he's going to lose 2/3 of his production. 2 gateways getting depowered. I'd like him to send a probe and try to repower those because he has 11 Stalkers. He should be able to keep Special contained. And at this point, I'm worried for Special because I think Blink Stalkers in the open map wreck this sort of army. They're just so good at picking it off and out-positioning it and letting their shields regenerate. The Trigger doesn't have Blink just yet. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Trigger's taking a bad fight. A really bad fight there just before Blink was ready. And now his Stalkers are heavily wounded. The Cyclone saved by the medevac. A few Stalkers saved by the Prism Gate. Great micro on both sides. And the Liberator rotates into the main. He says, hey, dickhead! Doesn't get a single probe trigger. So quick on his response, but he's going to actually fight in range, I think, this time. There we go. Goes back to mining. He lets the Stalkers tank with the help of the battery. Liberator does go down, but the army is coming forwards. No 3rd base right now for Trigger. He's only on 1 gate production and a robo. He's trying to get a 2nd and a 3rd gateway. Probably should go for a 4th gateway as well, in my opinion. Little does he realize how committed Special is. His 2nd and 3rd barracks now going down. There's no 3rd CC here. That Cyclone will fall very quickly. Trigger blink back. Loses another Stalker. All that damage he took earlier really coming back to bite him in the butt. Stalker very low. Does he have a battery on the natural? It's only going down now. Oh, great tank siege up. I like this tank siege position for Special. And as he moves forward, that's going to be very scary for Trigger. Now, I think for Trigger, you kind of want to go around with your Stalkers and pick off the Reinforce, right? That would be the dream. Prism is going to come in and repower the gateways. Mobile pylon at your service, Mr. Gateway. Another Stalker goes down there. These tanks, 3 tanks is too many. He's gonna repower these gateways. Does he warp in at home? Yes, he does. So he's still thinking about engaging the push front on. But that means I would have loved 3-4 Stalker warp-ins on this side of the map. Would have been so huge. He's gonna flank it now, but another Stalker runs into the position and dies. He does get those 2 Marines. That tank turns around, and here we go. Immortals and Stalkers are there. There's a Raven. Interference Matrix. Cuck Matrix does shut down one of these Immortals. Battery overcharges there. The Stalkers, though, are not going to be fighting here. Battery overcharge, not a bad call, but it doesn't really do that much. One more Immortal is about to come out. The Zealot's going to go in and let itself get killed. Stalkers dive forward. They kill a siege tank. The SCVs have been pulled. Remember, it is now 3 racks production. Stim shields +1 on the way. Trigger needs to kill this army before those upgrades come in. If these tanks can pair up with Stim Bio, it's GG. Trigger needs to find a game-winning fight, but he took a bit too long to collapse on the frontal push, and now he's fighting 2 desperate fights in 2 separate sides of the map at once. I think Special making a very wise decision to try and maybe pull that army home from the front. He's actually getting slaughtered by Trigger's amazing Blink Stalker control. He's killed 17 SCVs. He's got charge zealots. He even pulls a few probes in here. If the Immortals can get on the tanks, that'll be big, but they're not being focus fired. Oh no! Special keeps all 3 tanks alive! And Trigger committing a little bit too hard maybe to the counterattack. He's going to get knocked back to 1 base. He's got to pull out of here now as he's still got 6 gateways up. He could maybe break Special on this side of the map. Special's not building tanks, only Widow Mines and a handful of bio coming out. But look at this. This mining's going to go down. It's going to be 1 base versus 2 base. Trigger, he takes a Widow Mine. Oh, the retarget from Special was sick, but Trigger's blink was even better. Trigger didn't want to waste the Widow Mine on a single Zealot. That second Widow Mine targeted on the Stalkers for maximum splash. Marines will stim in and start hitting those probes on the other side. More Zealots coming and tearing down the SCVs. There's still not many units for Special, but he's got just 3 racks pumping out. The units try to hang on. The 3 tanks and Marines are going to break the production of Trigger if he doesn't warp in at home in the near future. And oh, he does set off both Widow Mines, dodges them. The stim bio, I really think, is enough with the SCVs to maybe overwhelm, but 4 more Stalkers come in, and they've obviously got something to say about that. Probes are being pulled here. He's trying to recall some of his Stalkers. Other Stalkers are out there fighting. Oh, this is actually... Oh! Hot pickups on the tank! Hot pickups! Oh! Hot drops, hot pickups! He says, drop it like it's hot! My name is Mr. Juanito. Raise your Doritos to help Juanito. You want to see some Especiali Tactico, is that it? Especiali Tactico? This here is my Spanish. I speak Spanish good. Fuck yeah, that was cool. And that was an absolutely chaotic game. Special gets another 2-0. Godlike play from Special. Alright guys, it's actually a best of 5. I didn't even realize we're casting the semi-finals already. So this is not over yet. He needs 1 more game to win it. It's just been all action, straight fire, taking the fight to the Protoss players so far. This is Special. Mr. Juan Carlos Tena. And his opponent in the bottom right down here, this is Trigger, who's full walling this. I always find that interesting because it can be really good for stopping your opponent from driving around, but it can also block your units. So interesting as well that Trigger walls off on that side, because if a Reaper comes in, it's going to come in from this side, right? Usually it's not going to be jumping up from there too often. I assume it can jump up from there though, right? I think it can. Anyways, Trigger does go for the Nexus, did probe scout early, and of course blocked the command center for a moment. Special going for a much more standard opening here. Very interesting to see. Big thank you to the subs there. Undefined Behavior says, and Zogga with a tier 3 first time sub. Hot damn, mate. Thank you so much for the love. Oh, that's a big sub. That is. That's a big girl, big boy sub. That makes me feel full whole hog there, mate. That's whole hog. That's like 5 subs in 1, isn't it? Damn. Thank you, mate. Much love. Alright, this SCV will go down. Now, the Reaper's going to go into the main. Kind of lure the Adept out of position, but you've got a Stalker being chronoed, so you should be fine. Twilight Council goes down there in the main as well. Trigger's natural almost up. Behind this, it was Factory, and it looks like the Factory is going to swap onto a Tech Lab for an early Cyclone. Special. Very cute opening there. Now, the thing is, I would not want a Cyclone against a Blink opening, unless you think you can just use it to catch an early Adept and Stalker on the map. To me, it just feels like it's not great. Oh! Trigger says, who's triggered now, dickhead? Oh! What? Because right, oh my god, if you can't land the Factory, guys, he's got nothing to defend that. He's going to have to literally pull like 8 SCVs to kill the Adept. He's going to have his only unit building like delete, like just unable to do anything. What? Oh my god, because the Factory couldn't land. He couldn't build a Cyclone. Well, that's the start of a comeback if I've ever seen one. Well, that was a frustrating game. He says, this is why I don't open up with fast expands. Going straight back to the double gas build, Psystorm Gaming special. Now this time the barracks is still close to home, but it's kind of hidden out here, so we can lift it back to the main and build add-ons. Trigger, of course, is scouting early. And for anyone confused at why he left, just to add a bit of context there, that whole opening was all about getting an early Cyclone out for Special. And basically that Cyclone beats any early Stalker or Adept really easily, can hunt down some units, kind of forces the Protoss to back off. It also is really good at shutting down like oracles and that sort of stuff as well. So it's a really nice way to start off the game, but having your Factory blocked, his only unit at home was the Marine. His Reaper was on the other side of the map. So his Marine was about to die to the Adept, and the Adept was also blocking the Tech Lab. So he could drop the Factory elsewhere and start a Hellion, which he really doesn't want to do. He just started building an extra Marine, which still won't beat the Adept. He has to pull like 8 SCVs, fight the Adept, lose a ton of mining time, lose 2 or 3 SCVs killing it, and then he's still got a way lower, slower cyclone, and everything's delayed in his build order, and it feels really bad. So he shouldn't have lifted off the barracks until the factory was in position to land. Bit of a mistake for Special, and if the Adept was there, probably should have just chilled out and waited on it. Now Trigger hides his probe there a little bit, and looks like he's going back forwards for a bit of a scouty scout, but I think he's going to run into the Reaper. No? Yes? Maybe? Okay, Stalker, a shield battery at the front. Now, this is pretty good because it is the 2 Reaper Hellion build, guys, that we've talked about. The barracks is now going to lift back. Now, one of the things that I noted earlier is Trigger did 2-gate Robo, and I thought that was way too safe, just because it's so hard to counterattack your opponent, and it's just not as flexible as some other things. I like the 2nd gateway, but I like 2nd gate into Blink, and I get you're afraid of Widowmine invisible drops. I just feel like you can drop a much later Robo against that if you really have to, but it doesn't hit that early. For now, though, look at this split Reaper harass. Oh, that Reaper avoids the Stalker on the low ground very nicely. Oh, barely saves that probe. And Trigger. Oh, he gets some probe hits. Oh, guys, 2 Reapers for 1 probe. But wait, Hellion gets in here. Special's not done yet. Oh my God, so annoying. But you know what, guys? He's going to lose it. Oh, that Hellion gets blasted up to the top of the ocean. That was 2 probes for a Hellion and 2 Reapers. This is nowhere near as good as it's been going for Special so far today with this opening. So for once, we're seeing Special with no early momentum. And guess what? 2-gate into Blink. Yes! So this is what I was saying is you can go 2-gate into Blink. You don't need to go 2-gate Robo and just be so late on your Blink. Trigger, watch out! Well, at least he will be able to kill that Widowmine. So, of course, a Widowmine costs 100 resources, a Stalker costs 175. That's a fantastic trade for the Terran player. But the early trade did go well in the Protoss player's favor, so all it does is slightly even things out. And Trigger looking for a very quick 3rd base. Now that I see as being a little greedy, but what you got to remember, guys, is if they're not straight up pushing you with marine tanks, something that can like get out of control, something like just a small Widowmine drop, which is what's happening, having a 3rd Nexus actually gives you an extra mineral line to mine from and an extra Nexus to chrono boost probe. So if you take damage here, the quick 3rd Nexus actually allows you to recover from that damage very quickly. So as much as, yeah, it's greedy to not just be building Stalkers and Blinket Observers right now and focusing only on that, it's also something which can help you in the recovery. Let's see how this goes. Widowmine drop comes in, and he shuts down the first Widowmine drop. He's got an Observer here as well. Oh, this looks like a shutdown. I think Special... Dude, he's been dominating not just this series, but some of his earlier ones as well. And they've been kind of one-sided. And now he's up 2-0. And he loses a game in a couple minutes. And now in this one, it's not gone his way at all. He's done nothing to Trigger. Trigger's got Blink Stalker map control now. He can move his Stalkers and his Observer forward, build another Observer to keep it home potentially for another Widowmine drop. And he can just probe on up towards this 3rd. Now, interestingly, he does have a 4th gas. I noticed that Trigger really likes going heavy on the gas. He's going for a 3rd gateway, a forge. So I guess he's going to be building extra observers. And yeah, like I said, you should be leaving your 2nd observer at home. He's sending it out to the left. Oh, he's got Stalkers though, guys. 5 Stalkers is the magic number. It takes 9 Stalker shots to kill a medevac. So if you have 5, you can kill a medevac in 2 volleys. So that's a really important number to take into account. Now, I think Trigger maybe saw the medevac coming down this watchtower. Maybe I missed that. Maybe that's why he's so well positioned. 3rd base can still lose a little bit of mining time here, but you can see he's watching it, so I don't think he's too concerned. Looks like that Widowmine, yeah, he's just going to take one for the team. The Widowmine drop does rotate. That Marine will get taken out by that Stalker. And where's the Observer, bro? It's coming from over there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is where things start to get a little messy. He's trying to go Robo-Bay, Forge, Charge, all this fancy stuff. And does shut down the medevac. That Widowmine unburrowing though. We'll click back on this one in a moment. That one barely doesn't get to fire there. But does waste some mining time. And just a single probe with this Widowmine. So Trigger loses a lot of mining time here. This was right when he was about to get massively ahead and get out of control in this game. So I think this is still very important damage for Special, guys. I really think this helps him get back in this game. I think he's back in a decent position now because he can actually kind of look at the army advantage and you can say, oh, if Trigger was mining this main this whole time, he'd already be on 8 gates, pumping Zealots and Colossus. And instead, first Colossus, he chronoed into a supply block. And that army's already thinking about moving out, is it? It's 5 barracks on 2 base once again. Special does not like to macro in this matchup. He likes to just attack, attack, attack. Feels like going 3 base, 4 base. It's often a losing proposition for him. He does not like playing Protoss in the later stages. He feels it's very unfair. Stalkers are coming towards the front, but these tanks very well positioned. Could get a few free Stalkers really quickly. Got to be careful, Trigger. Oh, you can see the tank turn its turret. Didn't quite get the shot off. We don't, medevac drop will go out the left. There's a depot over there as well. Templar archives as well. So Trigger up on 66 probes he's going to be going to, it looks like. Maybe not quite 66. He stopped on 62, and I think that makes sense because his main's going to be mining out of minerals in the next minute on half of those patches, so you might as well just transfer over to finish off the saturation, unless you're taking a 4th. Stalkers come forward. The tanks have unsieged. Unfortunate timing there for Special. It's going to lose a couple of units here. It does damage the Stalkers, though. It's not like it's completely free. 8 gateways. Archons are going to be added in as well. And that's usually the nice thing. If you can get 3 Colossus with range, or 2 plus a Warp Prism, and then you warp in like 3 Archons, you have like 20 Zealots. I mean, you already see those Zealots, and you got to feel like, man, this is going to be so tough. I don't think Special's got a timing. I was like, I think Special can still beat him with the army advantage, because he's pushing so slowly with the tank Viking Raven. I mean, it's all going to be about him finding a very nice position. But oh, nice pickup there. Marauder gets saved. Stalker goes down. Trigger not getting any free pickoffs because of Special's just awesome micro. Stalkers do grab a Marine there. Pushing down the left side. Special has just, he thinks there's a 4th base over here, I guess. This drop on the left side comes in. Looks like it got deflected by the Stalkers in the main. I didn't catch that because I'm bad at observing. What can I say? Warp Prism's on the way, guys. There's only 2 Colossus, and there's 2 Interference Matrices. Oh, the Interference Matrices go down. The High Templar unable to get the feedback off on that. He feedbacks it now. Dude, these Colossus need to get back to Battery Town. He's bled off all of his Zealots. Trigger's trying to keep the tanks back, but I don't think he should be fighting out here, guys. Oh my gosh, I think Trigger just taking a bad fight a bit too deep on the map. He didn't, at the moment the Matrixes went down, he needed to just run back. No battery on the natural as well is a huge mistake here. Now the Stalkers will take out that Viking, which is a very good move for him, but I really feel that fight was not good, man. Oh dude, the Zealots are going to come in. Oh, the Marauders attacked his own tank for a moment. Is that going to be enough? No, there's still 5 siege tanks there, guys. 6 tanks now as another one rallies in. And damn, Special with the super delayed 2 base all in. Trigger not quite finding the right engagement there. Needed to get that feedback off, and that's a totally different fight. But with the Raven landing its spells, everything falls apart for Trigger. He's now just got a handful of Stalkers, Colossus, Zealots, and Special, forcing him to evacuate the natural. It's got so much gas, it's time to morph in Archons for sure. That Colossus is going to rally out, does need to start fighting. Oh, High Templar, just walking to its death. Oh, those Vikings are going down. It's going to morph in 3 Archons on the right side. Is there still hope? I mean, it's a 2 base all in. There's still 2 bases fully mining, right? For Trigger, that Viking does a lot of damage to the Colossus, though. Oh, don't go in there. No, the tanks. Oh, the tanks covering the ramp is just brutal, man. Look at this Viking. This one Viking is the absolute Colossus nemesis there. The tanks are getting big shots off the Archon Zealot probe. One last-ditch effort. The Colossus all fall. And there's only 1 Archon and a few Zealots left, and it looks like Special just barely has the numbers. The tanks aren't sieging. They're going to march on forward. And a protracted 2 base all in attack. No 3rd command center in sight, but who needs it when you've got tanks, a Raven, a pack of Bio, some Vikings rallying in to help against the Colossus, and the fantastic micro that only Juanito has. Ooh, okay, Zealot is going to take a bunch of damage there. Battery overcharge. The Zealot says, "God, you think you could hurt me? Punch me, give me your best shot. Hit me with your best shot. You can't fucking hurt me, I'm ripped!" The Zealot with a 12-pack does charge forward, trying to intimidate the Bio with its gigantic muscles. And, oh my god, it does actually tank enough that all the tanks get cleaned up. Trigger does manage to kill those tanks at least. One last little fight. But, at the end of it, this Archon gets released from its cage as that pylon goes down. And the Archon's going to take out a Marauder or 2 maybe, but at the end of the day, just a few too many units for Special, and he's going to win this series. Really well played by Special. Trigger, a bit unfortunate. I thought we were going to see a Game 5 in this series, but we've got to check that fight one more time, guys. We've got to check that Raven fight. So it was a big mistake letting that fight go down the way it did. So yeah, if we watch this fight here, guys. So he's got the High Templar coming forward, and you can see that they're behind the Colossus. They're meant to be in front. Going forward and fighting is good, but if you're going to do it this way, I mean, you need those High Templar to feed back that. So you can see he charges, he gets a few volleys off, and at this point, he should have immediately just clicked his whole army to here. So what I don't understand, and I think is the big mistake, is obviously, well, he should have tried to get the feedback. Why does he turn and fight here? Big mistake. Big mistake. Well played.